The Galactic Summit on Crisis Management had convened the brightest minds from 200 species. The topic, the Void Rift, a spatial anomaly expanding at the edge of known space, consuming everything in its path. Projections gave them 6 months before it reached populated systems. Dr. Zelvas, the Confederation's chief scientist, presented the final analysis. We've exhausted all options. Our most advanced technology cannot seal the rift. Evacuation of 40 systems is our only choice. The chamber filled with resignation. Centuries of accumulated knowledge had failed them. Then Human Representative Jake Morrison raised his hand. "Yeah, so, I might have an idea," he said casually. The chamber turned to him. Jake was relatively new to the summit. Humans had only joined Galactic Society 3 years ago. He was a construction worker from Nevada, not a scientist, attending as part of Earth's Diverse Perspective Delegation Initiative. "Mr. Morrison," Zelvas said patiently, "we appreciate your enthusiasm, but this requires advanced theoretical physics." Right, Jake interrupted. "But hear me out. What if we just fly a ship into it? Like, real fast, with a big bomb?" The silence was profound. "That's..." Zelvas struggled for words. "That's the most primitive, scientifically unsound proposal I've ever heard. The rift would simply consume the explosion and grow larger." "But have you tried it?" Jake asked. "We don't need to try it. Mathematics proves." "Math also said bumblebees can't fly," Jake countered. "Look, back home, when we don't know if something works, we just try it. What's the worst that could happen?" Ambassador Chen, the senior human diplomat, closed her eyes. She recognized that phrase. Every human did. It was always followed by either spectacular success or spectacular disaster. Often both. "Mr. Morrison," she said carefully, "perhaps we should defer to the experts." But Jake was already sketching on his datapad. "See, the thing is, you're overthinking it. The rift is basically a hole in space, right? And holes can be plugged. We just need something big enough moving fast enough." Dr. Zelvas examined Jake's crude diagram with the patience of someone humoring a child. Then he stopped. His sensory stalk stiffened. "This coefficient here," he pointed. "Where did you get this number?" "Oh, that? I used to demolish buildings. That's the force-to-mass ratio for imploding a structure. Figured space isn't that different from a building, really." The Confederation's chief scientist stared at the human. The math was ridiculous, the logic was absurd, and the entire premise violated several fundamental laws of physics. But the coefficient was correct. 3 weeks later, Jake stood in the briefing room presenting Operation Hold My Beer, a name that required extensive explanation to non-humans. The plan was simple to the point of stupidity: load an asteroid with fusion charges, accelerate it to 0.97 light speed using every tug ship in the sector, and ram it directly into the rift center. "This is insane," declared Admiral Kreshenak of the Vrelian Defense Fleet. "Yeah," Jake agreed cheerfully. "But is it wrong?" The scientists ran the calculation 17 times. By all conventional theory, it shouldn't work. The energy would dissipate, the rift would absorb the impact, and they'd waste their only chance. But Jake's demolition mathematics kept suggesting otherwise. "The human's approach ignores quantum field theory," Dr. Zelvas reported to the summit. "It ignores spatial mechanics. It ignores everything we know about interdimensional phenomena." "So it won't work?" Ambassador Chen asked hopefully. "I didn't say that." Zelvas looked troubled. "I said it should fail. But humans have a disturbing tendency to succeed by ignoring what's impossible." The vote was close, but desperation won. They had nothing else. Jake personally supervised the operation, explaining concepts using terms like, "punch it real hard," and "boom goes the space hole." Professional astrophysicists watched in horror as he modified their carefully calculated trajectories based on gut feeling and that looks about right. Launch day arrived. Every species in the galaxy watched. The asteroid, now more bomb than rock, accelerated toward the void rift. At 0.97 light speed, it struck the rift's center point. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then the rift collapsed. Not gradually, instantaneously. The spatial anomaly that had defied the galaxy's greatest mind simply ceased to exist, crushed by the application of overwhelming kinetic force applied with absolute disregard for theoretical physics. The galaxy erupted in celebration. Dr. Zelvas sat in his laboratory, staring at the data. It worked, he whispered. The human demolished a spatial anomaly the way his species demolishes buildings. With explosives and confidence. Ambassador Chen found Jake at the celebration, holding a beverage that had been specifically synthesized to approximate Earth beer. "You saved 40 systems," she said. "You're a hero." Jake shrugged. "Honestly, I was, 60% sure that would work." 60%? Well, yeah. But that's better odds than my first marriage, and I went through with that. He grinned. Besides, someone had to try. Y'all were just gonna evacuate and let the thing keep growing. Dr. Zelvas approached, his expression a mixture of respect and existential crisis. "Mr. Morrison, I must ask, how did you know it would work?" "I didn't," Jake admitted. "But here's the thing, humans don't wait for perfect certainty. We see a problem, we try a solution. If it fails, we try something else. If it succeeds, we act surprised and take credit." He raised his synthetic beer. "My granddad used to say, better to do something stupid that works than nothing smart that doesn't. The galaxy's got all this knowledge and technology, but sometimes you just need someone dumb enough to try the obvious answer." The phrase, "hold my beer," entered galactic lexicon that day. It came to represent the human approach to problem solving: ignore the experts, trust your instincts, and try the solution that's too simple to possibly work. The terrifying part, the galaxy learned, was how often it succeeded. 3 months later, when a quantum computer array malfunctioned in a way that baffled AI specialists across 5 systems, a human IT technician fixed it by turning it off and back on again. The galaxy stopped being surprised.